Hey, what's poppin'? I thought I'd give you guys a little story time about me and how it all started. And I want to say this first. Abuse doesn't always have to happen with fighting, touching and, doing whatever. Abuse can be mentally abuse too. Although the physical abuse happened with me and the mental abuse happened with me. But I'm here to tell my story. For the people in the back, I want to let you all know how it started with me. When I was 6 or 7 years old, my brother and I had to go to a placement to DCF, to a foster home, because my biological mother and her husband were fighting. And she let me believe that this man was my father, all the way up to my 40s. Until I just found out who my father was a few years ago. So let's just leave that there. Well, when we first went to placement, my brother got to go home that next day, but I ended up staying and maxing out until I was 18. Now, I didn't stay there for the rest of, I turned 18. I went to other group homes, other foster homes, all the way until I maxed out. Now, when I was younger, I was always wondering how come he got to go home and not me? Especially when there was a group home in the same town where we lived at. I had to stay there, and my house was around the corner from there, and I couldn't understand why I couldn't go home. Well, to make a long story short, now that I am of age, I understood why now. My father wasn't my father, and she never wanted me. So when she knew that I could be placed somewhere and she didn't have to have that responsibility of me, she left me there. You could say she abandoned me. Yes, there were sometimes I got to go home, but it wasn't my home, because when I was there, I got called names. They made it very clear I wasn't wanted there. Called monkey, you're adopted, I'm dumb, all this kind of other stuff. So they made it very clear that I wasn't wanted there when I was able to come home. So when I got older and I did take a DNA test with the person she said was my father, it ended up not being my father. So it was very clear from there on in the reason why she didn't want me. And when I did find out that he wasn't my father, I asked her and I said, well, who's my father? I begged and I'm crying on the phone when I did have her phone number, and he's the one that gave it to me. He said, well, ask her. He gave me her number. I never had her number. So I'm over here crying, and she's like, I'm not telling you nothing, and she hung up. This is a true story. Now, I want to say, I'm just telling you all how this happened with me. Now, being an adult, I cut off a lot of people out of my life, because now that they know that my biological mother never wanted me, and I was always saying, they always kept saying that I was dumb. Oh, Sandy, her. No, what? Sandy what? It looks like Sandy's always been minding my business. It looks like Sandy's always been away from everybody. So I've always got shunned. And I never had real friends because I was always in placements. So I never got to latch on to anybody. So, by that being said, I'm just at this point of my life to where now it's real, and the people who are still attached to my biological or my siblings and stuff like that, and them not acknowledge that I have been placed in places where I should never have been. I have been placed in so many different places to where I stopped counting. Always wondering why I'm here. And still, as an adult, still being shunned and making me feel, well, they try to make me feel worthless. And now I feel good about myself because I know that I never did anything to anybody. I was just born. And from a woman who tried to take her secret to the grave, and I cracked the code, I found out that he was not my father, and the reason why she never wanted me. She wanted to keep the, she didn't want the. So now, I'm making this video because I'm proud of myself, because I wasn't expected to live this long. If I would tell you all what she has tried to do to me, nobody would ever believe me. But I wasn't supposed to live this long. There's a purpose for me to making this video. So, this isn't a sad video. This is I did it video. And me having my children at a young age, I have to say that I was wrong. I was selfish. I had my children so I would never be by myself. I had them for the wrong reasons. And I realize that now because my certain situations and things I said when I was younger, when I had my children, I wouldn't even said certain things. I wouldn't have done certain things. Why I had and made choices when I had my children. I wouldn't now thinking about that, I wouldn't have said certain things, done certain things that I am adult now. And I'm not excusing anything. I wasn't the perfect mom. I'm definitely not excusing anything. I'm just making this video because I need everybody to understand who the Black Diamond Misfit is. And I'm proud to be the Black Diamond Misfit who wasn't supposed to live this long. To tell my story. That's the gag. That's the gag. So, on the other part, me finding out I had other siblings, and them not giving me a chance to be me. I'm not mad with that neither. That's just God say that he didn't want me around people who wasn't going to be right for me. And I understand that now. So every no or for every no or every you can't have or whatever like that, that's just God helping you and guiding you. Discernment. Ever since I gave myself wholeheartedly to God, I've been using my discernment. And it's been saving me. I'm here for a reason. And these are happy tears. I love myself now. I didn't before, and I didn't know that I didn't love myself. But I love myself now. This is the new me. And I love it. And I can't wait for my next chapter. For my next blessing. That I'm waiting for anyway. This is the Black Diamond Misfit. This is my story. And I'm the only one that can tell it. Bye.